Well, hey guys, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. Hey, I've been off-grid now for over 20 years. I started making videos for YouTube clear back in 2007, and I designed and built a lot of off-grid projects over the years, but those videos now are really old, and because of that, the algorithm doesn't pick them up, and a lot of times people just don't see them unless they go to my channel and search for my channel. And I've got over 350 videos on my channel, so, it takes some searching to find those. But one of those projects that I found very helpful here at my cabin was I needed some way to wash my clothes. And I'm out in the boonies. I was kind of far away from town. I didn't want to have to run into town, and I didn't want to spend money on washing machines. And so what I did is I built, first I tried a couple of the small commercial hand crank washers, but they held too small of a load and they left the clothes really, really wet. And I didn't have money to buy a washing machine, so I built my own out of a scrap 55-gallon barrel and some scrap lumber. And that's what this looks like right here. And it actually works really well, and it worked well for a very large load. And it has been built by several people. I know a couple contacted me that were raising rescue dogs, and they needed some way to wash the rescue dogs' blankets and stuff. And so this washing machine worked really well for that because they could put a whole bunch of them in there. And because those blankets were really dirty, they didn't want to take them to a commercial washer, and plus it'd cost a lot of money. So they used that to wash those out. But it works really well for clothes or anything else like that. And you can always adapt it and modify it to make it even better. I like it when people take my projects and make them better than I can make them, because, I don't have all the ideas. But if you're interested in that, that's what this video is about. I'm going to show you how I made and used that. And if you're interested in the plans for those are free. Look in the links. I put all of my free plans on Instructables. If you've never been to Instructables, it's a really great website for do-it-yourselfers where people put their plans and show their projects that they've done. And so you can just follow step by step, download the free plans if you want. So on Instructables, and I will put the link down there, I've got several plans for projects like this washing machine, and also a lot of small cabins and homeless and emergency housing shelters and everything on there, even small solar power systems and things like that you may be interested in. Go get you a set of free plans. And if you also want to help support me and my channel, the free plans, a lot of those are in my book, Off the Grid. That's this book here. This is 355 pages of all the different projects and plans that I've built for many years, over about 20 years of time. And this thing is just absolutely full, from everything from my plans to my cabin. In here you've got how to build an off-grid cabin for under $2,000. Now that was built in 2005. The prices have went up a bit on materials, but you can still build a cabin like mine for probably around $5,000. If you're a good scrounger and you can get windows and doors, you can still build a cabin like mine. How to install a solar and wind power system, how to install a wood stove and heat with the sun, how to build a solar composting toilet, another really good project, how to harvest rainwater and drill a water well, how to build a hand power washing machine, pallet hot tub, an outside wood furnace, another really good project, solar water heaters, and over 20 projects in this book here. Guide to straw bale homes, earth ships, shipping container, post and beam, yurt, cob, and other building design styles. How to make a living from your homestead. That's been a very, very popular one. There's quite a few guys out there now who took the information in my book and started their own YouTube channels and some other, it's what I call side stream income projects, and now are doing quite well for themselves. How to be self-sufficient, raising a garden and animals, plus 3D modifiable cabin design so you can build your own cabins. All right, that's all in here. It's 355 pages, folks. It's very well worth it, and you can get the ebook on my website for $5, okay? I don't ask a lot because I do these projects and to help people out and not to make money. The money just pays for my website and my internet service, basically. So you can go get that on my website, simplesolarhomesteading.com. Get you a copy of this as either the ebook, or you can get my printed books if you're interested in those on Amazon. And Amazon, I have all my printed books. You can get, like I've got here, I've got all of my solar cabin plan designs, and I've designed a lot of cabins in here. Everything from A-frames to small, tiny houses, houses on wheels, recreation cabins. They're all in here, and this is, I think, almost 370 pages. and you can get this in the black and white or the color version, whichever one you want. And all of the plans, I mean, everything in here is completely detailed. Now, so you know, I'm an architectural draftsman, and I was a builder and worked in construction for a long time, so I know how to build and design things. And so all of the plans in here are designed to be step by step for anybody who's never built anything. If you've never built anything, you can still follow these plans and build yourself a cabin, build yourself a recreation. You can build yourself a Vardo. All of those plans are in here. Step by step, so you can learn that, and you can get that in either the black and white version, which I think is right around 20 bucks, or if you really want the collector's edition, I also have that in hardcover. You can get the collector's edition, and this is full color, and it is absolutely beautiful. Amazon does a really good job on their printed books if you're interested in that. Everything in this is completely full color, and it is hardcover. It's something that will last you a long time. You can put in your library shelf. You can get those, or you can get individual plans on my Amazon link, which is down there in the links. These are the A-frame plans. You can get a set of A-frame plans. Here's my Vardo micro cabin plans. Here's the studio cabin plans, a very popular one. That actually includes 3 different plans in that book for 3 different styles. You can build this small cabin here. Here is my Wombat camper. Also, this has been built by a lot of people. This is the Wombat camper, very popular, small teardrop style camper you can find there. Here is the Walden. This is also very popular, been built by several people. This is the Walden cabin that can have an addition built onto it if you need some more room. Here is my Red Hawk micro cabin, another one. You might have seen some of these in other people's videos. This is the Red Hawk micro cabin plans. It's been built by several people. Here's the Penobscot. 3 of those have been built in the last few years. Here is the Big Tex tiny house. I'm still waiting for someone to send me pictures of this because I know some people have built it, but they haven't sent me the pictures yet. But this is the Big Tex tiny house that you can build on a small trailer, and it's designed to be low. It doesn't have a loft in it, so it's designed to be low weight, pulled with a standard pickup truck with still a lot of room in it. That's a really good plan. Here's the Thoreau cabin plan. I took the designs from the Thoreau cabin from his book Walden, and I modified it to make it so it's simple to build for anybody if you want a Walden cabin. Here's the Cattail cabin plans. Go get you a set of those. That's a barn style cabin, has lots of room in the roof. And here is my A-frame again. That's the A-frame solar cabin plans. This one has been very popular. I know that probably at least 15 people in just recently have built this. And some of them have their own YouTube videos showing the cabin, and very popular plans here. All right, folks, you can get any of these for very low price on Amazon as the printed book, or you can go to my website, simplesolarhomesteading.com, and get you a copy of the ebook, which is also full color, for $5 for any of these plans. $5 for a full set of plans, and then you can modify them and do whatever you want with them. If you have, and on the A-frames, I also include the SketchUp file. So if you want to modify this to do it yourself, I give you the SketchUp file. You can load SketchUp up, and you can modify it any way you want. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to try and upload some of my older videos that I haven't been circulated in a while, kind of give you an idea of how I started out doing off-grid, and I've been off-grid now for 20 years, and I've used a lot of off-grid and built a lot of off-grid projects. So I hope you enjoyed this washing machine, and go get you a copy of the book, visit my website. Have a great day, folks. Well, hello, folks, and welcome to Homesteader News. Hey, in my last video, I told you guys that I promised you that I would show you how I was going to use this 55-gallon plastic drum that I got in order to build a compost tumbler that can also be used as a hand crank washing machine. Well, I got that project done. I'm going to show you how to do that. And that project is included in my book that's called Simple Solar Homesteading Off the Grid. And I'm going to show you that. This is the book, Simple Solar Homesteading Off the Grid. It's 355 pages, chock full of all kinds of my plans, including how to build a solar cabin and how to build this composting tumbler and washing machine. This book is really, really full of stuff, and I'll just give you an idea here. The descriptions and plans or details are all real nice, so if you want to build this project, this is a great book to have. And this also has all the worksheets in it for installing and designing your own solar system and wind system. So I really highly recommend that you get this book, because in the next month I'm going to be installing solar and wind on my cabin, some additional projects. And so if you have this book, you'll have the worksheets in front of you and all the directions and designs. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we build the tumbling composter, and the hand crank washing machine. Okay folks, this is the composter made out of a 55-gallon drum. Now the 55-gallon drum, I was just happened to be driving by a car wash, and the guy was putting some of these out. I asked him if I could buy one or have one. He said, yeah, go ahead and take one. So the barrel didn't cost me anything. The framework you can see is all made out of just scrap lumber that I had sitting around my place. I didn't go buy new lumber. I like to recycle materials as much as possible. If you want to buy new lumber, you're going to need about 5 2x4s to make the framework. The 55-gallon drums I said I got for free, but if you're looking around, you might be able to find one of these at a yard sale. You can buy them new, but they're a little bit pricey, so I'd look around, see if you can find one used. Plastic barrels should be used. They'll last a lot longer. And as the framework is just made out of some rough lumber, it looks pretty rough right now. I will slap a coat of paint on that. I've got some extra paint sitting around in cans that I haven't used, but I left it in this condition just so you can see that I use a lot of recycled materials. Now the upright that you can see right there are just 2 2x4s put together. They're 3 foot long. The base that it sits on is a 3 foot piece of 2x4, and the braces are 2 foot pieces, and the long brace that goes there that holds the two sides together is 3 foot 8 inches long. Now those are about approximations. If your lumber isn't exactly that size, you need to cut it or whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as the barrel will fit inside the framework, it doesn't really matter too much on sizes or dimensions. And as long as it's high enough up that you can turn it without hitting the ground, you're okay. The framework's very solid the way this is built, because it has uprights on the edges holding up the barrel. All the weight is down through the uprights, and then the side rails hold it together. What's nice about this framework is you can just take out a couple of those screws on those long side rails, and you can store this whole thing together. If you don't want to keep it up all the time, if you just want to build one of these for emergency use or take it with you, then you can just take off those side rails and the whole thing will store in a small amount of space. So that's pretty good. Now I have one of these that I use for composting, and I'm going to show you how it works here. What it has a door on the front here, which what we use is some cheap hinges, and all I did is cut out a door, and the door is about 1 foot by 1 foot. It's not a real large door. You could make it bigger if you want a bigger door. You can also use just a strap hinge, but what I used here is just a couple of regular hinges, what they call cabinet hinges, to go over the back. That holds the door up. And then it also has this little latch, which is just an S-hook latch, and that opens up to open your door up. Now with the door open like that, then you can put your compost in. And compost can be made of just about anything that was once alive. So you can put your garden scraps in there, you can put your kitchen scraps in there, although we don't recommend you put a lot of red meat or chicken or anything like that in there. Use the stuff that can break down quickly. Meat's not a good product to put in your compost. But you can put leaves, grass clippings, garden waste, just about anything, chicken manure, rabbit manure, dump it all in there, and that'll compost up usually in about 2 weeks. Now how this works is, as you can see on this end, it's got a handle, and the handle is used for turning the compost. And what we want to do is you want to keep your compost aerated. Most of the microbes and bacteria that break down the compost, they like oxygen. Plus it also moves the stuff that's on the outside down into the middle where the microbes are busier, and they'll keep this compost a lot better. So you put your stuff in that hole, and then you'll close that back up. And then when you're ready, you come out every couple of days and you just give this a turn with these handles here. As you can see, I've got them spaced enough, and you just give this a turn. You don't have to turn it all the way over. Just give it a few rotations. And once that's turned around and around and around a few times, that compost in there, that'll spin up. It'll turn around and it'll fold back on itself, and that way the compost will stay nice and aerated, and that's going to speed up the decomposition, and that way your stuff will come out. Now you can after about 2-3 weeks you probably have some pretty decent compost that you can use on your garden. So then you open this back up, take your compost out of your barrel, put it into a 5-gallon bucket or whatever, and take that and put it on around your shrubs, around your trees, on your garden or whatever. Now you'll notice that I've added a couple of features in here that I haven't talked about yet. One is you can see that there's a hole down in the middle of that barrel there, and what that's used for is for drainage. And what you want to get
is a plug that looks like this, and you can get this at any hardware store. And what this is it's a sleeve that has a little cap on it, and when this is taken apart, this sleeve fits down through that hole. There we go. Sleeve fits down through that hole, and then that acts as a drain, and the cap goes over the top of it. And the reason I installed one of these is because I want to collect off the moisture, which we call compost tea. Compost tea is really high and rich in nutrients, and I'll use that compost tea on my house plants and plants that really need a good dose of nitrogen. So I'll put that in there, and all you do with that is you take it, put it through the barrel from the inside, so it'll go through the hole. Okay? Put that through the barrel so it goes through the hole from the inside. I'm showing it backwards here just to show you how it goes. It goes from the inside. And then if your hole's tight, you probably don't even need to seal around it, but what I do is take maybe a little bit of PVC glue, just go around the edge, glue that to the barrel. Since the barrel's made out of PVC and this is made out of PVC, they're going to lock tight together and glue down. Then that is connected with the cap in this fashion, and that will act as your drain. This is on the bottom side of the barrel. So what I do is after I put my compost in there and it's sat 2 or 3 weeks, I'll come out and I'll add maybe a gallon or 2 of water and let that sit for 48 hours or so. And then I'll pull this cap off, turn that barrel upside down, and I'll put a bucket underneath that, and I'll drain off just the liquid out of the barrel. And that liquid is high in nitrogen. That's called compost tea, and I'll put that around my flowers, around my plants, my garden, places like that. So that just goes through the end of the barrel. And this has another purpose that I'll show you when we make the washing machine out of this unit. This will also act as the drain for your washing machine. So you're also going to want to install one of these if you make the hand crank washing machine. And that just goes down through the inside of the barrel. There you can see it installed through the barrel. Then the cap goes on top of it as such. And that seals the barrel up. And that'll go down to the bottom of the barrel. Okay, that's pretty much it for the composter. Not complex, easy to build. You could probably build this in an hour or 2. I think it took me about 2 hours using hand tools or power tools. Recycled lumber if that's all you can find. Now some people ask me, why do I use recycled lumber? Why don't I go get nicer stuff for my projects to show you guys? Well, there's a whole lot of people in this world that don't have much money, and my videos are watched by them, so I want them to know that they can build all these. You can probably find all this stuff at a junkyard if you look around. About the only thing that you might have to buy, and that's this wood dowel that the composter sits on. And what this is a piece of hardwood. It's a 1-inch hardwood dowel that you could pick up at probably any hardware store. That's the only piece that I had to buy. You could use a piece of pipe if that's all you got available, but the 1-inch dowels are really nice. They go in nice and smooth. They won't wear out because they're hardwood. Now you can see how we installed that. It's just some 1-inch holes through the tops of the rail, through the upright, and it just goes through the barrel. And these barrels have a line in the middle of them, so it's pretty easy to find the center just by measuring across that line and then dividing it in half. Okay, and the handrail, or the hand crank, is just a piece of PVC pipe with some screws through the inside of the barrel. I think I put 4 or 5 screws through the inside of the barrel, and I had some of these short pieces of PVC just laying around, so I didn't have to buy anything for it. Okay, that works real well, so you can turn the tumbler. You don't really need the hand crank if you don't want it. You could just turn it by hand on the top of the barrel, but this gives you something to grab onto if it gets very heavy, so you can pull it back up and really move it around. So I like that feature there. You can also use the bung drain holes that the barrels have already installed in them. However, a lot of times those will get wore out and they're hard to turn, and so I suggest the drain plug underneath the bottom of the barrel. Okay, that is the composter, and one of these right here will produce a whole lot of compost in a short amount of time. I also use just a standard compost pile, but I found that one of these tumblers works faster. It keeps the flies and stuff from being attracted to it because it's sealed up, and it won't get all wet in the rain, which can make your compost slow down. So a tumbling composter is a great project. You can build out of scrap materials. You don't really need to buy anything. You might have to buy a couple of hinges if you don't have any. A piece of 10-foot length piece of PVC pipe's only about 10 bucks. The scrap lumber you can get just about anywhere, or you can buy 5 2x4s. That's all that's necessary for the project. Whole thing for me cost, I think, $3 for the hardwood dowel. That's the only thing I bought. Everything else I had sitting around my place. So that's the composting tumbler. Now I'm going to show you how this can be turned into a hand crank washing machine. Now, why would I want a hand crank washing machine? Well, I want you to think about how many times does the power go out if you're living on the grid, and could be out for a very long time. You might not be able to run your washing machine. How are you going to wash your clothes? Well, you could wash them in your tub or in your sink, I guess. It's a lot of work, but it can be done. So what I wanted was this hand crank washing machine so that I can wash a large batch of clothes. Now, I've used these products called Wonder Washes, which you can buy. They're not cheap. They're about 50 bucks, and they only hold 4 or 5 t-shirts and maybe a pair of underwear and socks. They don't hold a lot. They do work. They're nice little units if you're going camping or something like that. But if you've got quite a bit of clothes to wash, one of those are probably not going to work for any type of real major washing. And they're a lot of work, and they still have to, the clothes have to be drained and rinsed and everything like that. So you may have to do 20 loads in order to get much laundry done. So I wanted a hand crank washing machine, and where I'm off grid, I didn't really want to run a power washing machine. I can run one off my generator, but I prefer not to use it, especially with the price of gas. So the hand crank washing machine is really nice. Now, how this works, you don't want to use your composter for your washing machine. So if you're going to build one, build 2 of them if you want, one for a composter, one for your washing machine. Basically, it's the same exact plans. You build it all the same. The only difference is we add some agitators. In a commercial washer, they have an agitator that sits in the middle of the washing machine that rolls back and forth, and that scrubs the clothes back and forth against each other so the clothes come really clean. If you don't have an agitator in one of these barrels, because they're smooth, you're not going to get a lot of agitation action. So what I've got is you can see on the inside of these barrels, you can see that there's some PVC pipe added. And what I've done is I'm going to put another one in here. Right now I've got 2 in here, but you can see that there's PVC pipe added on the inside of the barrel. Those are going to be the agitators. There'll be one down in the middle at the bottom there too. Now what happens is as you rotate the barrel, the clothes will roll over those agitators back and forth, and that'll get the clothes moving a lot better. Those agitators will clean the clothes. Okay, and you use it the same way as you do the composter. You put your clothes in through the top, and you just want to add enough water just to cover the clothes. You don't need to fill the whole barrel up. Just enough water to cover the clothes. Add in your biodegradable detergent. A liquid detergent would probably be best. Add in your detergent, close up the lid. Okay, you've got it closed up, you've got your clothes in there, you've got your water in there, you've got your cap on your plug in the bottom. Then you just do it just like you would the composter. And all you do is you just start swinging this back and forth. And that's going to agitate the clothes inside that washing machine. And it'll probably take about 15 minutes. You can have your kids do this for you. It's good exercise. And it's not very heavy. Now, you don't have to roll the washing machine all the way over. It's not necessary. All you need to do is just go back and forth with this, and that water and those agitators in there are going to slosh those clothes around, get them grinding against each other, and that's going to clean all the dirt out of them. Then after you've done that for about 15 minutes, you're going to pull that plug off the bottom down there that we installed and drain that water. Yeah, you can drain it on the ground, but a better way to use that water is to recycle it. So put a bucket underneath there and just take that water over and put it around your shrubs and your trees and things like that. As long as you're using a biodegradable soap, the soap and the dirt that's in your clothes isn't going to hurt your plants, so you might as well reuse it. So take that water, pour it around your plants, your trees, your shrubs, and places like that. Now that's the washing machine. And all it takes, in addition to the parts for the composter, is just some short pieces of PVC. And you can see that I've got a few of these just sitting around. They're like, I think they're about 3 feet long. You want to do them so that they just fit snugly inside the barrel. Okay, they should just go on the inside of the barrel. And then you screw from the outside of the barrel into the PVC. So the screws don't stick forward. You don't want them ripping up your clothes. So you just put those agitators in there, and those will work to scrub the clothes and keep the clothes clean. Now, this project is a washing machine, hand crank washer, would be very good for an off-grid home that has quite a bit of clothes to wash. It would also be a good project for an emergency washer, even if you don't think you need one right now, but you might want to have one of these. Build one of these in case of an emergency, so if your power goes out and you need to wash a large batch of clothes, you could do it. Remember, when the power's out, it's also out at the laundromat, so you're probably not going to be able to run your clothes down the laundromat and wash them either. In the places where they've had tornadoes and things like that, people have been without power for over a month sometimes, so you need to be kind of prepared for that. So that would be good for this. This would also be a project for third world countries where they don't have power to run equipment like washing machines and things like that. This project can be built out of scraps. You could probably get all the wood just from a couple of pallets. Break down the pallets for your wood, use a pipe or a dowel for it, and find a plastic barrel. There's still a lot of people in other countries that wash their clothes by pounding them on rocks in the river. That's a pretty hard way to wash a bunch of clothes. This project here might help somebody living somewhere else so that they could wash their clothes a lot easier than just pound them on the rocks. Also, great emergency washer or for off-gridders. Okay, folks, that is the compost tumbler and the hand crank washing machine. The complete directions are in my book, Simple Solar Homesteading Off the Grid. You can go to my websites, simplesolarhomesteading.com, homesteadernews.com, click on the books. The ebook is only $7, and it is chock full of plans like this. So go pick you up a copy of that. Plus, when I start doing the solar and wind power, you'll have all of the worksheets and step-by-step directions for installing your solar and wind power. So if you have that in advance, it'd be really good for you. Well, I realized I left out a few steps on washing your clothes with the hand crank washing machine, so I better explain so people understand how it works. First, you put your clothes in through the top. Fill the barrel up to just enough water that it covers the clothes. Add in your liquid detergent. Close the lid. Then you're going to use the hand crank, moving it back and forth for about 15 minutes is usually all it'll take to wash the clothes. And this will hold quite a bit. You can put in several pairs of Levi's, all your shirts, socks, underwear, everything like that into one of these big 55-gallon barrels. They'll actually hold more than most commercial washing machines. However, smaller loads do wash a little better, so don't overload it. After you've ran it through the wash cycle, pull the plug that we showed on the bottom of the barrel, let it drain out, or run that into some buckets that you can use onto your plants. Put the cap back on, then you're going to fill it back up to just above the level of the clothes with clean water. You're going to agitate it back and forth several times for another 10-15 minutes. That'll rinse the clothes. That's the rinse cycle. Pull the plug, drain that water, use it on your plants. If the clothes look clean, that's probably all you need. If you want to do 2 rinse cycles, put the plug back on, add some more water, run it through another rinse cycle, drain it off. Then you're going to take the clothes out of there and hang them on your clothesline. You don't need a dryer for if you got sunshine at all you got to do is hang your clothes on the clothesline, they'll dry. That's how the hand crank washing machine works. Now, got a special deal. If anybody wants to build one of these hand crank washing machines, if you'll send me a picture of it or 2 of you using it, then I will send you a free copy of my book, Off the Grid. That's a pretty good deal. That's a $7 ebook, and I will send that directly to you. You got to take a picture of your hand crank washing machine built on my designs and tell me how you use it. And just email that to me at homesteadernews@yahoo.com. I'll say that again, homesteadernews@yahoo.com. Send me the picture, your description of how you use the hand crank washing machine, and I will send you a free copy of the ebook, Off the Grid. All right, folks, have a good one.